Hi guys, I'm Angel, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to use Python, Moviepy, and Whisper timestamp to automatically generate word-by-word captions on a video in the style of YouTube Shorts or TikTok videos, the ones that show like literally one word at a time captions. And we're going to be doing that using Python. So first off, I'm working on Ubuntu and I already have my development environment set up, VS Code. I have a main.py script that I'm going to use for the script. And I also have a nice little example video I downloaded off of YouTube Shorts. Really chill, really nice. I have no idea why the audio is not working on VS Code, but trust me, it does work. So, first thing, we're going to use Moviepy, and we're also going to use Whisper timestamp. We can install those using pip, but we're also going to need a couple of extra dependencies which are used by both. The biggest one is going to be FFmpeg. FFmpeg is a multimedia decoding, encoding, and processing library. It's basically what Moviepy and Whisper timestamp both use to load audio and video and understand it like in a format that can be understood by the libraries. And we're also going to need ImageMagick. Now, ImageMagick is specifically for Moviepy, and what ImageMagick does essentially is that it's a software suite of tools for image processing, and that's what Moviepy uses on each frame of the video to add captions, add effects, and so on, like darken the video and stuff like that. And we're going to go ahead and install that. I'm using Ubuntu, so just to install it, it's going to be sudo apt-get install ImageMagick. We'll go with that first. I have to put in my sudo password. I already have it installed, so it's going to be super quick. And then likewise, you're going to have to install ffmpeg with the same command, sudo apt-get install ffmpeg. Once you have that, you can use pip. I'm using pip3, install Moviepy. And then another thing you might need if you're using Moviepy, depending on your system, is you might need to install easy setup. In my case, I already have it installed, so it's going to be super quick again. And finally, you can install Whisper timestamp. I think it's Whisper timestamp like this. Perfect. Yeah, and this one is probably going to be the one that takes the longest to install. Just to kind of give a summary of Whisper, Whisper is a multilingual speech recognition model created and trained by OpenAI. It's really good and it has really impressive accuracy, especially as you use the bigger models for it. But one of the caveats about it is that it offers phrase or segment level timestamps, not word level timestamps, which is kind of what we need if we want to show one word at a time. We want to make sure that we're showing them at the correct time. We want to have word level timestamps. Now, what Whisper timestamp does, that is an open source implementation of Whisper that actually offers word level timestamps with a really good degree of accuracy. So it's really handy. That's what we're going to be using for figuring out at what times we want to show our caption elements on the video. So now that everything's installed, we can go ahead and start writing some code. Let me expand this bad boy here. First things first, from Moviepy editor, we're going to import video file clip, which is going to be used for loading our original video onto the program. We're going to use composite video clip for combining all of our text elements and our original video into something that we can write to a file and get an output for. And finally, we're going to need text clip, which is just basically like captions, the captions that we put on video. Next, we're going to import Whisper timestamp. I think it's Whisper timestamp, and I'm just going to import it as Whisper just for simplicity's sake. Next, I'm going to have the file name stored here, or in your case, if you have the file that you want to modify stored elsewhere, you're going to need to put a path to the file, right? So it might be something like, if it's stored a folder outside, you're going to need to do this bad boy. But in my case, it's stored right in my working directory, so I'll just do that. Now, at a very high level, first thing that we're going to do is load the video clip as a video file clip. Next, we're going to go ahead and transcribe video using Whisper. Next, we're going to use the transcription to generate text clips or like captions for each word, right? And the good thing about the transcriptions is that it also includes timestamps at which the words occur. So we're going to use that. And then finally, we're going to combine the original clip and the text clips into one composite video clip and write to a file. Perfect. So super easy to just load the video clip. We're gonna do original clip, I think is a good name. Video file clip, provide the file name, right? Next, we want to transcribe the video. This is going to be a little bit more involved. We're going to need to load the model, load the audio, and then run the transcribe function using that model. So I'm going to go ahead and say transcribe text, and I'm going to get transcribe text. I'll be separating this out into a separate function. I'll define it up here, takes in a file name. And then in this function, what we're going to do first is that we're going to load our audio. So we can use whisper load audio with the path to the file. In this case, it's just file name. Next, we can actually load the model. Do that with whisper load model, and then we can provide the name of the model. And typically we have like tiny, small, medium, and large, but you can also import other models that are compatible with whisper from Hugging Face. And all you got to do is provide the name, and it'll automatically download and use those for your transcription. So I'm going to use small just for simplicity's sake. And another thing that I want to provide is the device that we're going to be running it on, which in my case is just going to be CPU, because I don't trust my GPU with WSL. I can barely trust my GPU to work at all. So next, we're going to actually get the transcribed text. So I'm going to store it in this result variable. All you got to do is to whisper transcribe. I think it's, yeah, just transcribe. And we're going to take the model, the audio, and finally we can also provide the language that the transcription should be in. So I'm going to say EN for English, and then all we got to do is return the result. Perfect. So what is this result that we're getting? So this result is actually a dictionary that contains an attribute called segments, and segments is essentially a really big array or list of segment elements. Now, each of these segment elements themselves is a dictionary, and what you got to know about the segment is that essentially it represents a phrase. So it's going to contain a property, words, that contains an object, a series of objects actually. It's going to be an array of word objects, and each of these word objects contains the start of when the word happens, the end of when the word ends, essentially, on the video clip that we loaded, and the text, or like the string representation of that word, right? So if we're able to loop over all of the words available across all the segments, we can make a text clip for each word and show each word on screen at a time, and basically achieve word level captions, right? So we're going to do that in this next function that we're going to create. Let's go ahead and make a variable called text clips. It's just going to be a list of all the text clips or captions that we are appending to our final video. So I'll call this get text clips, provide a file name, and then down here I'll define get text clips, takes in a file name. Oh my gosh, sorry guys, it doesn't take in the file name. It should take in the transcribed text. And I'll just call this text for simplicity's sake. What we're going to do with the text is that we are going to get the segments from the dictionary. Then for each segment in this big segments array, and then for each word in the words property of the segment, right? Because the words attribute of segment stores an array of word objects, right? So for word in segment words, we want to create a text clip and append it to a really big array that we're going to return at the end. So I'll just say text clips array and just make an empty array. Then what we do is that for text clips array, we append a new text clip element. And the parameters that text clip takes first is the text that we want to show on screen. So that's going to be really simple. Just grab the text property off of Word. We can provide a font size, I'll say like 90. I think we can also provide a stroke color, say black, just for some good contrast with the video. Stroke width as well, we can provide that. I'll say 5 pixels. It's pretty good. Just provide it as a number. We can also provide a color for the word, do white, and we can also provide a font. And you can actually look up the fonts that you have available to your system, and that's going to be a function of your ImageMagick installation. In the Moviepy documentation, there's a method literally lists out all the fonts available. So if you want to change it up, I'll put the link to that in the description so you can quickly access it, change up the font. I really like Arial Bold. I think it's a classic. I'm a really big Arial Bold enjoyer. And then once we have that text clip generated, we want to be able to set the start time of that text clip and the end time of that text clip. So set start, we can use the start property in each word, which is the time in seconds when the word starts. And for set end, likewise, we can use word end, which is the time at which the word ends on the video, right? And then one last thing we can do is that we can set the position of the word on screen. I'm just going to put it smack dab in the center to achieve maximum user engagement. Now, once we have all that, all we got to do at the end is return, not segments, the text clips array that we appended all of our text clips to. Now we have an array of text clips. Finally, we're in the final stretch, guys. All we got to do is create a final video, which is going to be a composite video clip that contains the original clip, as well as all of the text clip elements that we generated with their corresponding words and durations all set up for us. And then all you want to do, I think I might be getting the function for this wrong. I think it's write video file. And then you can provide a name. I'm just going to call it final MP4 for funsies. And you can provide a codec, which I think, actually I should probably look this up. It's libx264. Yes, that's my codec. In your case, it might be different, and I think this is an optional parameter, so it's just going to use whatever is like the default for your system. So you don't have to provide this parameter. And yeah, that's going to be our function. And if this works, you know, if I deserve a job once I graduate, this is going to work. So I'm going to do Python 3, main.py, and just pray for me, brothers. Okay. Looks like I'm not getting a job, guys. I forgot a large number of commas, but that's all right, because, you know, nobody's perfect. What matters is being able to get up after you were knocked down and keep on trying. And that's what we're doing right here. It's going to take a little bit because it's going to load the model from Hugging Face. In my case, it's going to try and download the small model, and then after that, it's going to do the transcriptions and give us the final video. So I'm probably going to cut to the, oh, never mind. Looks like I won't need to cut to the final.mp4 generation because it's writing it to a file right now. And once you have that, we should have our official TikTok / YouTube Shorts-esque captioned video with one word captions at a time. Let's see what we got. As we can see, we got a great video, guys. Wonderful. And it didn't show it this time, but sometimes like the Whisper model can sometimes get stuff wrong, right? And you know, you're going to want to select the model that works best for you and the size that works best for you. I only use the small model just because I'm running it on the CPU and I kind of wanted this to be fast. But you know, you're free to import your favorite model from Hugging Face, whichever one. If you need a more powerful one, if you need a faster one, you know, you're able to import that and you're going to get better, more accurate results for your transcription. And yeah, you know, that's pretty much it. Hope this was useful to you guys. Let me know if you guys want me to like continue this and like, I don't know, maybe make another video on how to have multi-word captions and highlight each word as it goes in the video. But otherwise, you know, hope this is useful to you. And yeah, thanks for watching the video.